Hello, this is about a video uh, comment that was made on the video I made originally, and it's a legitimate question from a user in the UK. And I was trying to tell him in a text reply comment about a Yahoo user group, and I believe they're Cloudbusters. I belong to them and I get email all the time, but I'm not sure of the name. They also have videos that show the devices in work, that they actually do this. And Wilhelm Reich is the one that originally came up with this technology based upon Tesla's technology, where you can draw energy out of the air. And there's energy in the air whether you know it or not, because when atoms cross each other, brush up against each other, that friction turns into heat, which is energy. So the electrons go to a higher global, higher ground state. Um, I just want to get into my email right now to make sure of the correct name of that user group. I can't make one where I'm living because I'm in what's called classified as a historical building. I can't have even a piece of wire out my window for an antenna for stereo or TV or anything like that. The name of the group is Cloudbusters. All right, come on. Come on, email. All right, and it's cloudbusters at yahoo.com. Uh, Things are locking up a little bit. All it takes is a few windows open on this patches system I have. But it's Cloudbusters. It's a user group on YouTube. They have videos of the devices actually in work, and they have some that I'm going to be getting on my own just because I'm very interested on this. And the email for them is cloudbusters at yahoogroups.com. And they've got all kinds of information on how to make these cloudbusters. Not per se, normal clouds. We're talking about chemtrails here. And I've seen video of Tesla, and as well as text of what he did when he had to move to Colorado after Morgan and cronies burnt his lab in Princeton University. I mean, in Princeton. I don't know if he was at the university, but he had a lab in Princeton, New Jersey. They burned it to the ground. And when he was conducting his experiments with that tower out there, collecting energy from the air, he was sending so much back down to Boulder that they were blowing their generators. So they asked him to stop doing it, to stop sending that energy down. So that right there ought to tell you it's a viable technology. If it, even back then in the 1900s, if it can blow a generator and as big as they were making them back then, that power's still there. So um, I highly recommend it. I also want to get the videos of Wilhelm Reich because he was showing the use of one of these cloudbusters, and he discovered those flying rods uh, that you can catch on high-speed film. And the film takes place in like a natural cavern. It's just you're on flat ground and then there's a big hole. People jump off into it. And you can see as they're jumping and the sunlight and the shadow line, you can see these things going across that. And they're not faking it because they match when they're crossing that boundary. Parts still lit, parts dark. And they got some weird looking little, almost like flippers on their sides. Very strange. I'm going to get that video and post it just so you can see what I mean about these weird critters flying through the air. He also attracted UFOs that he caught on film, Whose they are, though, that I don't know. I still don't know what to think about that topic. Uh, when I see one, I'll make my decision. As because as it stands right now, I look. Yes, God created all, and it's in His will and domain for to do as God wishes. But we haven't been made aware of this through the Word of God. But we have, by the Word of God, known about fallen angels. We've learned about Lucifer, and that he has the power, the principle power of air. Yes, air. So maybe these are fallen angels using this technology, because some people say they're reptilian. Um, they can take on any appearance they want. Me, I'd have to be like Thomas, I think. Instead of just sticking my side in the hole of one of these lizards, I would want to dissect it. Maybe that's why I never see one. Maybe they can read my mind. Maybe I need to put a tinfoil hat on. But it is. I'm not making a joke about the fact that there's there's a lot of evidence out there as far as photographic. There have been third as well as fourth level contact. It's up to you where you want to take it in your mind and in your beliefs. Who's doing this? Could it be man? Or could it be fallen angels? Or could it really be multitudes of alien civilizations that are coming here? I don't have the answer for that. But I do know that the Cloudbuster group, they've shown in videos of where they focused their devices at a certain section of the sky, and those clouds disperse. And it's in more than one video, so I can't think it's just prevailing wind currents because you don't see it move in any direction. It just collapses in upon itself. Now, if they're putting particles in the chemtrails, I know they are. The barium and the beryllium, those two I know for sure. And now the little micropods with a little linged lid. I don't know. I've seen pictures of them, and I've seen pictures from school kids who were in a photography contest. And this one kid had used an electron microscope at 1,000 times magnification to show this device that nanotechnology had made. And it had a spindle, it had gears, it had levers. Uh, so it was a pretty complex piece of work. And you have to see it at 1,000 times magnification. So because I've got that, and that's credible, and acknowledge that it's credible science and technology, then why can't they be using it for nefarious ends too? So maybe, it's a double whammy, or even more, because the barium beryllium, and then we get the yellow goo substance, but then we also get the pods. Oh, well, let's not forget about the smart dust too. Now they got our radio frequency identification, RFIDs, that are so small we can ingest them without even knowing them. Brother Mark, I believe, was the user who had that video. So I'm going to need to see if he's still online and get that one. It was a good post by him. There's a lot of aware people. If we can just get together and share this knowledge, we can become that much more powerful, and have more of a voice and affect change. This is not a pleasant subject to think about as far as poisons from our own government. And there was a gentleman with an English accent. I think he lives in Great Britain, not Australia. And it was a special channel all of its own about Morgellons. And you could see him sitting there scraping what appeared to be a skin with